Part 24. Swallowed Star, My Understanding is Beyond Belief. Author, Bo Yoon Song. Chapter 231. Many geniuses who have entered the origin continent have thought of seizing the original universe, but no one has ever thought of enslaving the original universe. Old man Sean Chen looked at Luo Xia with a rather emotional expression. Rorschach, you dare to think. At the same time, you succeeded. I am really happy to have a disciple like you at the last moment. Now that you have successfully enslaved the original universe, you will be able to understand all the rules and the origin of life in the universe. In the future, you are destined to become the God King. Searched Can on Google. Rorschach, listen carefully. In this world, the levels of strength are divided. From immortality to above, there are the universe venerable, the universe overlord, the universe lord, and the universe's strongest. The so-called strongest person in the universe is also called the true God on the origin continent. On top of the true God, there are the true God of void, the true God of eternity, and the Lord of chaos. After the Lord of chaos, there is the God King. My strength during my lifetime was the God King level. This star tree is the God King level treasure that I refined. But it has the ability to grow. As your strength continues to grow, with your current strength, you can reach the maximum of the stars. The power of Tree Universe Venerable. I look forward to the day when you become the God King. When the old man said this, he sighed, it's a pity that I can't see it anymore. He looked at Luo Xia and continued, you have to remember that the God King is not the end. There is a higher level above the God King. You must surpass the God King. When you surpass the God King, I will die without regrets. Luo Xia's eyes turned red when he heard this, teacher. Although he had not spoken much to old man Sean Chen in the past few thousand years, the old man and the young man had stayed in this inheritance space for nearly 1,000 years, so how could they not have any feelings? At this time, Luo Xia felt quite sad when he saw old man Sean Chen looking like he was explaining his funeral arrangements. But he also knew it. With the means that old man Sean Chen had when he was alive, he was unable to save himself for the time being, and with Luo Xia's current abilities, he couldn't even save old man Sean Chen. No need to be sad, old man Sean Chen laughed loudly, I have lived long enough. You have to understand. Sometimes, eternity is not a blessing. If it is like a stubborn stone, eternity will only become a kind of pain. He raised his head, as if looking at his former life path, I have been doing what I like to do all my life, and now I am really going to die and no longer exist, but I am very happy. Because I basically did everything I wanted to do. To say I have no regrets would be a lie. I really want to see the scenery above the God King. When the old man said this, his figure was extremely blurry. At the last moment, he looked at Rorschach kindly like a kind grandfather, my disciple, work hard. Teacher. Luo Xia shouted and watched helplessly as old man Xingchen's figure was completely annihilated like a bubble. After standing stunned for a long time, Luo Xia sighed and put away the inheritance space. This inheritance space was specially opened up by old man Sean Chen to isolate the original universe. When Rorschach wanted to enslave the original universe, the old man deliberately exposed a flaw to allow the original universe to enter. This inheritance space may be of great use in the future. After collecting the inheritance space, Luo Xia took one step forward, and when he reappeared, it was already the outside world. Star Forest. On Titan, the star forest disappeared long ago when Rorschach obtained the star tree. Luo Xia only found out after getting the star divine tree that the star forest in the outside world grew under the influence of the star divine tree. If the star trees in these star forests lose the power of the star sacred trees, they will completely disappear and be destroyed. This is also the reason why people cannot take the star tree away from Titan. After the star forest disappeared, all the strong men who remained in the forest were shocked. They did not leave because of the disappearance of the star forest. Intuition told them that the reason why the star forest disappeared was probably related to some kind of treasure. So the strong ones stayed. More than 600 years have passed. They rummaged through the area where the star forest was located over and over again, plowing almost all the ground, and even found the ground under the star forest, but they found nothing. Just when everyone is ready to give up, Rorschach shows up. There's something strange about where he appears. An immortal king who had been stationed here thousands of years ago saw Logosia's appearance and immediately called his men to surround him. This is the immortal king of the demon clan. Thousands of years ago, it sensed the riots of the Star Tree King in the Star Forest, and felt something was wrong, so it boldly approached, and accidentally saw Rorschach being sucked into a black hole. After that, the Star Tree King seemed to have fallen into a deep sleep and stayed in this area. Immortal, the king of the demon clan, felt that something was strange, so he stayed. This wait lasted for thousands of years. And while waiting, the star forest disappeared. You are indeed not dead. The immortal king of the monster clan looked at Logosia excitedly, his scarlet tongue sticking out from time to time and licking his lips. When Logosia heard this, he looked towards the immortal king of the monster clan. The immortal king of the demon clan is in the shape of a toad. It has a thick body and is over 100 meters tall. It is covered with poisonous bumps and is emitting green poisonous gas. As soon as it appears, it is covered with poisonous gases within a distance of 10,000 meters around it. The terrifying poisonous gas. Logosia frowned slightly, looked at this terrifying demon immortal, and asked, "Do you know me? Thousands of years ago, I saw you being swallowed by a black hole with my own eyes." Immortal, the king of the demon clan, chuckled, "Perhaps if it were anyone else, I would have thought you were dead. But I don't think things are simple, because after you were sucked into the black hole, the Star Tree King fell into a deep sleep. More than 100 years ago, this forest suddenly disappeared. I suspected that it might have something to do with you." It looked at Rorschach coldly, its wild eyes full of murderous intent. "Hand over the treasure you got, and maybe I can give you a good time." Logosia looked at the monsters surrounding him. Among these demon clans, there are 12 demon clan feudal lord immortals, 67 ordinary immortals, thousands of peak-level realm lords, tens of thousands of domain lords and more than 1 million cosmic level ones. Tisk. Rorschach shook his head slightly. The next moment, he suddenly stared at the surrounding demon clan. Boom. The terrifying pressure centered on him and radiated to all sides. In just an instant, the souls of the surrounding demon clan were directly annihilated by the coercion emanating from Logosia. They fell from the sky like dumplings and fell to the ground, losing their vitality. The demon clan immortal who was granted the title of king was stunned, its evil smile frozen on its face. After a long time, it looked down at its men who were instantly killed, then looked at Rorschach, and asked in horror, "Human, you, what have you done? What do you think?" Rorschach smiled. This smile is very sunny and handsome, perfect. But at this time, Logosia's smile looked as ferocious as a life-threatening evil ghost in the eyes of the immortal demon race, which was extremely terrifying. Swallowed Star, my understanding is beyond belief. Author, Bo Yoon Song. Chapter 232. Boom. A terrifying and endless pressure swept through the immortal king of the demon race. At this moment, the immortal king of the demon race did not react at all. In just a moment, his consciousness fell into a blank, as if an eraser had erased his soul and consciousness from his body. The immortal king of the demon race, who had lost his soul and consciousness, fell directly from the air. Logosia looked down and saw a barren wilderness full of corpses of the demon race. Including those of the cosmic level, there were as many as 1,000,000. Sure enough, the endless pressure of the origin of the universe is not something that these immortal kings and the weaker ones below can bear. Logos-Ya whispered secretly, with the pressure I just released, I'm afraid only the strong ones above the Cosmic Lord can bear some. Waving his hand, Logos-Ya collected all the corpses of the demon race above the Realm Master level. These corpses are all treasures. And there are probably many treasures in their space rings and world rings. Logos-Ya did not check either. The most important thing for him now is to break through and become immortal. When the Demon Killer clan was still in the inheritance space, Logos-Ya's original body, the Golden Horned Giant Beast clone, and the Destroying Giant Beast clone all practiced the 6 paths of reincarnation and upgraded their genes to the perfect level. Now the Golden Horned Giant Beast and the Destroying Giant Beast, which have perfect life genes, are extremely huge, and the length of each one has reached more than 100,000 kilometers. It is a truly terrifying giant beast. Buzz. Logos-Ya took a step forward, and with the power given by the original universe, he teleported directly to an uninhabited and safe planet, and began to break through and become immortal. Logos-Ya's original body, the Demon Killer clan clone, the Golden Horned Giant Beast clone, and the Destroying Giant Beast clone all appeared on this huge planet. My inner world, the inner world of the Destroying Giant Beast, and the inner world of the Golden Horned Giant Beast can still expand. Because the clones bred by Logos-Ya's original body exist independently. So the 3 bodies he mentioned all have their own inner worlds. The most special ones are the inner world of Logos-Ya's original body and the inner world of the Golden Horned Beast. In Logos-Ya's original body, in addition to the inner world on the surface, there is also a cave world hidden by him. In the inner world of the Golden Horned Beast's clone, there is also a place called the Two Realms Abyss. This Two Realms Abyss will deposit and condense a unique metal Golden Horn Boundary Stone. After Logos-Ya's life gene reached the perfect level, the original universe helped him to enhance the pronuclei of each clone. After the pronucleus was enhanced, the inner world of each body can begin to expand again. Start expanding. Logos-Ya whispered, and the inner worlds of the original body and the 2 clones began to expand. The expansion of the inner worlds of his original body and the clone of the Destroying Beast is very simple, just swallow the cosmic crystal. And Logos-Ya has now enslaved the original universe, so naturally there is no shortage of cosmic crystals. As Logos-Ya's thoughts moved, 2 passages leading directly to the origin of the universe opened up, connecting Logos-Ya's original body and the inner world of the Destroying Beast. Countless cosmic crystals began to flow into Logos-Ya and the Destroying Beast's inner world like a tide. Boom boom boom. As soon as the cosmic crystals entered the inner world, they were swallowed and digested by Logos-Ya and the Destroying Beast. Their inner worlds were also expanding rapidly, with diameters from 100 million kilometers, 200 million kilometers, all the way to 100 billion kilometers without stopping. Until the end, Logos-Ya and the Destroying Beast's inner worlds reached 1 trillion kilometers, which reached the limit. Then came the Golden Horned Beast clone. The Golden Horned Beast wanted to expand the inner world, so it could only swallow metal. And the planet that Logos-Ya specially chose was a special planet made entirely of metal. Its diameter was 100,000 kilometers, enough for the Golden Horned Beast to swallow. As the Golden Horned Beast opened its mouth and swallowed the metal on the planet, the inner world was also expanding crazily. Boom boom boom. In the end, the inner world of the Golden Horned Beast reached the limit of 1 trillion kilometers. It seems that after the life gene reaches the perfect level and the prokaryote is strengthened, the diameter limit of the inner world is 1 trillion. Logos-Ya is not greedy. This 1 trillion is already wide and vast enough. You know, even the Golden Horned Beasts that have an advantage in the inner world, the diameter of the inner world of the generally more powerful ones is only 100 million kilometers. And Logos-Ya now, the inner worlds in 3 bodies have a diameter of 1 trillion kilometers. This is terrifying. Golden Horned Boundary Stone. Logos-Ya noticed the Golden Horned Boundary Stone in the Golden Horned Beast. In the depths of the Two-World Abyss, which is like an abyss, there are golden lights shooting out, which is the brilliance of the golden horned boundary stone. Logos-ya just moved his mind, and the magnificent and huge golden horned boundary stone flew out of the two-world abyss and floated in the air. The strange golden boundary stone was covered with golden secret patterns, and the mysterious and powerful golden laws were waving and blooming, creating layers of golden waves in the void, which was extremely magical. The general golden boundary stone was a precious material used by the universe masters. And Logos-ya's golden boundary stone did not need any processing. It could rival the top treasures used by the general universe masters. The inner world has expanded to the limit, and the perception of the origin law has been completely understood. Now I can even transform into the law. It's time to break through immortality. On the metal planet, Logos-ya's original body and clones all sat cross-legged and began to break through to immortality. The law is formed, the origin is formed, the nucleus is broken, the divine power is poured, and the soul and body are united into immortality. This is a passage explaining how to break through from the realm master to immortality. Logos-ya plans to let the original body break through to immortality first. To break through from the realm master to immortality, you only need to fully understand a certain lower origin law and gradually understand the upper origin law, and then you can break through. And Logos-ya has already understood the 10 basic laws. So at this moment, he only needs to choose any of the 10 laws at will and connect them to break through. Logos-ya's original body is naturally close to the origin law of wind. So at this time, when breaking through immortality, he chose the origin law of wind. The invisible connection connects Logos-ya and the ocean of wind law in the origin of the universe, and the endless and vast breath of law rushes to Logos-ya. Then, in his nucleus, the origin pearl absorbed the breath transmitted from the ocean of the law of wind and transformed into the appearance of Logos-ya. At the same time, Logos-ya's consciousness also descended on Logos-ya, who was transformed by the origin pearl. In the nucleus, there is a self-contained space. If Logos-ya wants to break through immortality, he must break the shackles of the nucleus, this self-contained space. As soon as his mind moved, a stream of energy immediately condensed into a long sword in his hand. The next moment, Logos-ya stared at the inner wall of the nucleus and swung the long sword in his hand. Reincarnation. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Swallowed Star, my understanding is beyond belief. Author, Bo-Yoon Song. Chapter 233. The Sword of Reincarnation contains the mysteries of time and space. At the beginning, there was only a hazy sword light. But when the sword light flew to the inner wall of the nucleus, it immediately burst into endless light and turned into circles of light wheels. With a puff sound, the extremely hard inner wall of the nucleus was broken in an instant like an eggshell. If the Lord of Chaos knew about it, they would definitely find it incredible. Because Logos-ya's foundation was too solid, when he was the Lord of the realm, he had raised his genes and the world in his body to the most perfect level. His nucleus shackles may be the strongest and most powerful since the birth of the original universe. If it were a figure like the Lord of Chaos, it would be impossible for Logos-ya to break the nucleus shackles as easily as Logos-ya. But Logos-ya only used one sword. Most of the secrets and swordsmanship in the universe can be divided into inferior, ordinary, peak, ultimate, and even the strongest. And this sword, which combines the mysteries of the laws of time and space, has surpassed the strongest level. If an eternal true God level strongman comes, he will definitely see that the sword technique used by Logos-ya has definitely reached the level of the 7th or 8th level. And the Lord of the Universe who can create the 7th or 8th level secret method can definitely reach the realm of the Lord of Chaos. This secret method can be used to fight with the Lord of the Universe. Not to mention, it is only used to break the nucleus now. Logos-ya's nucleus is definitely the hardest and most powerful, but no matter how powerful it is, it will have a limit. And Logosia's reincarnation sword, if it is used to the fullest, the power is absolutely beyond imagination. At the moment when the shackles of the nucleus were broken, Logosia, formed by the origin bead, immediately connected with the endless sea of wind laws in the origin of the universe. The origin law of wind descended directly and appeared above Logosia's head. Rumble. The endless power of the wind law rushed into Logosia's body crazily. The power of these laws was so turbulent, like an endless ocean pouring down, rumbling like the Milky Way, pouring straight into Logosia's body. Some realm masters have just entered immortality, belonging to ordinary immortals, and generally only need a little divine power to transform into a divine body. And some extremely powerful realm masters, such as Bolin, if they enter immortality, are basically immortals of the level of Marquis or King, so they need more divine power, but generally they can only reach the divine body of 100,000 times the power of the realm master. But Logosia now, the divine body of the earthling original body, the life gene has reached the perfect level. As long as the divine body is one, it will be more than 1 billion times the power of the realm master. This is terrifying. Because most of the universe masters, such as those with a life gene level of 10 times, have a divine body of only 100 million times the power of the realm master. The divine body that Logosia has achieved now has far exceeded most of the universe masters. Rumble. The scene of the backflow of divine power is too amazing. It really looked like a big hole in the sky, and endless divine power fell directly like an ocean waterfall. If it weren't for the uninhabited star field around, this magnificent scene would be so stunning that people would drop their jaws. In Logosia's inner world, endless sea water of divine power seemed to be pouring back from the sky, and countless divine powers came from the void. Finally, Logosia's earthling body was transformed into a divine body. At this time, his soul and body had been perfectly integrated, and his immortal divine body was perfect. Every place was extremely beautiful in the eyes of any intelligent creature. The immortal divine body of the earthling body has been transformed. Next, it is the clone of the demon killer clan, the clone of the golden horned beast, and the clone of the destroying beast. Logosia's earthling body looked at the other clones. Among these three clones, the clone of the demon killer clan should complete the transformation of the divine body soon, but the bodies of the golden horned beast and the destroying beast are too huge. Their lengths are each more than 100,000 kilometers. The divine power they need is huge. Logosia first started the immortal transformation of the golden horned beast clone. Because the demon killer clone was bred by the golden horned beast clone, the immortal transformation of the two can be carried out at the same time. As a huge amount of golden law divine power poured back from the void, the demon killer clone and the golden horned beast clone broke through one after another and became immortal. Finally, it was the destroying beast. Logosia this time stirred up the ocean of time law. The infinite time power poured back, making the destroying beast's aura more magnificent and powerful, and at the same time more powerful and mysterious. He looked at his destroying beast clone with joy. Sure enough, using the power of the upper law to transform the divine body will get stronger power than the lower law. The breath of the law of time emitted by my destroying beast clone is enough to be called the time venerable. Why did Logo, the lord of the time realm, fight against the law of time so hard that his own end was coming? That is because, once you break through to immortality, you can communicate with the ocean of time law, and you will get more powerful divine power and divine body than the lower laws. Finally, the immortal divine body of the giant beast of destruction was also completed. Logosia thought to himself, with my current understanding of the law, I can break through to the universe master at any time, but the foundation needs to be laid. I can temporarily slow down the breakthrough and wait until the foundation is more solid before breaking through. And with my current strength, even if I face some universe masters, I will not be at all inferior. Okay, I haven't accumulated enough military merits yet, so I can go back to the battlefield. Rorschach smiled, took a step forward, and with the help of the original universe, he returned directly to the first battlefield of the extraterritorial battlefield. Before, he had only earned more than 4 trillion military merits. There was still a little gap from the 10 trillion military merits required by the Virtual Universe Company. When Rorschach came back at this time, he no longer planned to hide his identity. He also deliberately exposed his identity to attract those powerful alien warriors to better earn military merits. Now that he has enslaved the original universe, even if he encounters an invincible enemy, he can rely on infinite teleportation to move away directly, and the alien warriors can't keep him at all. Soon, Rorschach met a mechanical immortal king on Titan. "You are Rorschach." Rorschach's information had long been spread among the mechanical race. Every immortal in the extraterritorial battlefield had all kinds of information about Rorschach in the information database. Now this king-level mechanical immortal saw Rorschach and instantly compared the information in the information database and recognized him. The mechanical immortal king was ecstatic. This is the most powerful genius in the history of the human race, and the one who poses the greatest threat to alien races. Many strong men in their mechanical race have already deduced that if Logosia really grows up, the impact and threat it will bring to them, the alien race, in the future will be catastrophic. They will never allow such an awesome person to grow up. Logosia must be completely killed before he grows up. Swallowed Star, my understanding is beyond belief. Author, Bo-Yoon Song. Chapter 234. The immortal king of the mechanical clan released a huge golden pyramid spaceship. Then, various mechanical puppets flew out of the pyramid. These mechanical puppets are made of extremely precious G-level alloys, and the combat power that each one can burst out is enough to rival the immortal level. Rorschach glanced at them. These mechanical puppets are densely packed, with about 10,000 G-level mechanical puppets, and there are millions of F-level mechanical puppets. Tisk. It is said that the Zerg likes human wave tactics, but in fact, the fighting style of the mechanical clan is similar. The warriors of the mechanical clan like to make puppets very much, because they are born intelligent life, and controlling these mechanical puppets is like using their own bodies, which is very easy and convenient. It can maximize the combat power of mechanical puppets. And the mechanical clan has another natural advantage, that is, they have no soul and can ignore soul attacks. But the endless pressure of the origin of the universe is not only effective against the soul. As long as there is conscious life, it will be affected by this endless pressure. And because this pressure is too strong, it can already be materialized. Boom. When Logosia completely released the endless pressure of the origin of the universe. In an instant, substantial pressure fell from the void, like an infinitely tall mountain range pressing down. Those mechanical puppets had no time to react at all. Under the terrible pressure, they were directly crushed into scrap metal. The eyes of the mechanical immortal flashed, and his heart was extremely shocked. It couldn't understand Logosia's actions at all. This is not a secret method at all, and even the power of the law cannot be sensed. If it is not a secret method, then where does the pressure that comes from the dark come from? The mechanical immortal king couldn't figure it out. In its calculations, as millions of mechanical puppets became scrap metal, its chances of winning changed from 60% to less than 10%. Damn it! The mechanical immortal king almost didn't think about it, and jumped into the pyramid spaceship, trying to escape. Its mechanical spaceship spent a lot of resources to build, and its entire body material is almost made of G-level metal, enough to withstand the strongest attack of a king-level invincible strongman. And this spaceship is extremely fast. As long as it can enter the spaceship, it can escape by relying on the speed of the spaceship. Rorschach did not kill them all, and let the immortal king of the mechanical clan control the spaceship to escape. He was just thinking about how to spread the news about his first battlefield, and this opportunity came. As the immortal king of the mechanical clan escaped, his news would spread. In this universe, the human race has the fastest message transmission speed because it has a virtual universe. The only race after humans is the immortal mechanical clan. Because the mechanical clan has the highest level of technology, they can build a virtual world within the scope of a star region, so the speed at which they transmit information is the fastest among all races other than humans. Escaped. As the pyramid spaceship shuttled into the dark universe, the immortal king of the mechanical clan breathed a sigh of relief. At this time, it was updating Rorschach's information. According to the energy fluctuations detected just now, Luoxia is very likely to have been promoted to immortality. It has unknown means to produce extremely terrifying and substantial pressure. Even though I am a mechanical race without a soul, I feel suppressed and destroyed under that terrible pressure. Luoxia's threat is greater. It is greater than the threat we estimated thousands of years ago. Now he has grown up initially. If he is allowed to grow, it may greatly compress the living space of other races except humans. He must be killed. But the strength of the immortal king is not enough to kill him completely. Luoxia's information must be sent to the tribe, and the tribe's top leaders must send a strong man of the universe to kill him. At the same time, the news that Luoxia appeared in the first battlefield must be spread as soon as possible, so that the Zerg, the demon race and other alien races also know Luoxia's location. The mechanical race is very fast. It didn't take much time for Luoxia's news that he was located in the first battlefield Titan to spread throughout the universe. Zerg base in the first battlefield. A beautiful and dreamy Zerg queen sat on the throne, and below her stood a group of powerful Zerg warriors. Each of these Zerg warriors is immortal. Hiss hiss hiss. Suddenly, a winged Zerg warrior flew in from outside the hall, knelt on the ground, and used pheromones to convey information to the Zerg queen above. Not long after, a gentle voice sounded in the hall. Rorschach, the greatest genius in human history, is indeed on the battlefield outside the domain. Thousands of years have passed, and we have been looking for him, but we didn't expect him to show up at this time. Let's go to Titan. This human genius is too threatening to us. We must strangle him when he is weak. As soon as these words came out, the Zerg warriors in the entire hall immediately roared to the sky. The next moment, these Zerg warriors disappeared and were collected into the world ring by the Zerg queen, and then this beautiful and dreamy queen flew into a biological spaceship with 6 pairs of thin wings. The wings of the biological spaceship fluttered slightly and disappeared immediately. The demon tribe base. A demon beast as big as a mountain exhaled a breath as strong as a hurricane. In front of it were demon beasts with extremely terrifying auras. These monster beasts, like it, are king-level immortals. There is news from the machine tribe that Rorschach, the first genius of the human race, has appeared. On Titan, the first battlefield. Titan? Then Rorschach is actually on Titan. We have been looking for him for thousands of years. Now he has finally appeared. Now is the best opportunity to kill Rorschach. If we wait until he returns to human territory, we will be in trouble if we try to kill him again. Let's go, we must keep Rorschach on this first battlefield forever. Virtual Universe. In the main hall of Chaos City Lord. Rorschach stood respectfully below. The Lord of Chaos City looked at him and asked, "Has your inheritance ended?" Rorschach replied, "It ended a while ago." The Lord of Chaos City nodded slightly, and then asked, "Have you broken through and become immortal now?" "Yes, teacher." "Very good," the Lord of Chaos City smiled. He did not expect Rorschach to break through to immortality so quickly. He thought it would take tens of thousands or millions of years for Rorschach to break through. After all, Rorschach's accumulation is too solid. This is a plus for future growth. However, too solid accumulation will make it extremely difficult to break through, which becomes a shortcoming. In the original work, Luo Feng's breakthrough was extremely difficult. It wasn't until he wandered in the universe for more than 50,000 years that he achieved a breakthrough. Now, Rorschach's breakthrough was achieved in one go. It went so smoothly. I heard that the news that you were on the first battlefield has spread throughout the entire outer battlefield, the Lord of Chaos City said, and his expression became a little bad after talking about this topic. When Rorschach grows up, he will definitely become a pillar of the human race in the future. But the news that he was on the battlefield outside the territory spread. This is what my disciple did on purpose, Luoxia said. The Lord of Chaos City frowned when he heard this, looked at Luoxia and said, I have received news that the Zerg, monster, and mechanical tribes have now sent out many powerful men who have been crowned immortals. The mechanical tribe may also send out a universe venerable. Although you have become immortal, your strength. Have you even sent the Lord of the universe here? Luoxia smiled. After hearing the news, he didn't look worried. With his current strength, even if he does not rely on the original universe, even if he meets the Lord of the universe, he is still capable of fighting. Teacher, don't worry, disciples have their own rules, Luoxia said confidently. The Lord of Chaos City looked at Luoxia for a while, then nodded and said, you must be extremely careful. Yes, teacher. Luoxia responded respectfully. He knew that the Lord of Chaos City was also worried about him. Rightward arrow. Swallowed star, my understanding is beyond belief. Author, Bo Yun Song. Chapter 235. Rorschach stayed in the palace of the Lord of Chaos City for a short time before retreating. He came to Yuxiang Mountain and was about to contact his elder brother Luo Feng when suddenly Babata said, Luoxia, your family has sent you a lot of emails, including tens of thousands of emails from your parents each, and thousands of emails from sister-in-law Su Xian, brother Luo Hua, and sister-in-law Zhen Nan. Rorschach raised his eyebrows slightly. When he accepted the inheritance wholeheartedly, he blocked all information from the virtual universe. I didn't expect that my family would send me so many emails. Rorschach couldn't help but said to Babata, didn't I tell you that when I accepted the inheritance, I would send them an email to report that I was safe? Why are there so many emails? Babata spread his hands and said helplessly, I sent it. Your family didn't say anything at first, but since your eldest brother's news disappeared, the number of emails they sent you has increased dramatically. Why did my brother lose news? Luoxia frowned and asked, what happened? I don't know either. Babata shook his head. After I learned that Luo Feng had lost his voice, I tried to contact Atuka who was with him, but I didn't receive any reply. I didn't know what happened to your elder brother either. What? Let me ask. Rorschach said. Who to ask? Naturally, we ask about the original universe. As long as Luo Feng is still in the original universe, the original will of the original universe must know what happened to Luo Feng. After a while, Rorschach got the answer. Now Luo Feng is receiving the inheritance in the Star Tower. Did you ask? Babata asked. Luoxia nodded and said, don't worry, my elder brother is fine. He is also receiving the inheritance of a powerful alien. When Babata heard this, he couldn't help but said, are you two brothers so lucky? How can you get the inheritance of a powerful person in an extremely dangerous area like the battlefield outside the territory? Haha, let's not talk about it for now. I have to tell my parents first, especially my sister-in-law. She must be worried, Luoxia said. He first exited the virtual universe, then entered it instantly, and then returned to the villa on the Black Dragon Mountain Island. The family has been waiting here for a long time. In addition to Luo Hongguo, Gong Xinlan, eldest sister-in-law Su Xian, second brother Luo Hua and second sister-in-law Zhen Nan, there are also juniors such as Luo Ping, Luo Hai, Luo Yun, and Luo 11. Luo Yun and Luo 11 are the two children of Luo Hua and Zhen Nan, one boy and one girl, 6 years younger than Luo Ping and Luo Hai. But now, These children are thousands of years old. In addition to juniors like Luo Ping, there are also several grandchildren. Today's Luo family is ranked high in the entire Qinwu universe kingdom. As one of the two legends who single-handedly created the entire Luo family legend, Luo Xia is admired by countless descendants in the family, and many descendants want to meet Luo Xia, the legendary ancestor. It's a pity that Rorschach doesn't come home often, and he doesn't like to show up very much. It's very difficult to see him. Like the grandchildren, if they want to see Luo Xia, they must have excellent strength and character, and then they will be brought to see Luo Ping. Xiao Xia. Luo Hongguo and Gong Xinlan were overjoyed when they saw Luo Xia coming back. Their mother Gong Xinlan even asked, "What happened to you in these years?" "We asked Babata, but she didn't tell us. Some cultivation matters. It's too troublesome to talk about," Luo Xia replied with a smile. He noticed that several juniors were looking at him with admiration, looked towards them slightly and nodded. Suddenly, these grandsons were trembling with excitement. As the former number one in the genius battle, Luo Xia's reputation in the Luo family is much higher than that of Luo Feng. Nowadays, countless children of Rorschach have grown up watching Rorschach's heroic fighting appearance. They all have the utmost respect for Rorschach. "Xiao Xia, do you know about your elder brother?" Su Xian asked Luo Xia anxiously and nervously. Luo Xia then looked at his sister-in-law Su Xian and said, "Sister-in-law, don't worry, my eldest brother is fine. He just got the inheritance from a powerful foreigner on the battlefield outside the territory like me, so I can't be distracted and reply to you just news." When Su Xian heard this, she felt relieved, but she still asked with some worry, "Is there really no problem? We haven't received any news from him for almost 6,000 years. It's really okay." Luo Xia slapped his chest. "I can confirm that my eldest brother is still alive, and his inheritance should be over soon. So don't worry." The second brother Luo Hua said, "It turns out that the eldest brother received the inheritance in the battlefield outside the territory, so we can rest assured. In these thousands of years, we have not received a reply from you, but we are very worried." Second sister-in-law Zhennan nodded and continued, "Yes, especially Mom. I saw her secretly wiping away tears many times. Dad has also been in low spirits and can't eat well." Luo Xia looked at her parents and said, "Mom, Dad, I've made you worry." Luo Hongguo said, "What are you talking about now? We will feel relieved when we see that you are back safely and that your eldest brother is also safe." Luo Hai asked at this time, "Third uncle, how long will it take for you and my dad to come back from the battlefield outside the territory?" Luo Xia thought for a moment and said, "I should be able to come back soon." "What's wrong? Hasn't it been that our family hasn't had a good reunion for many years?" Luo Hai scratched his head, "So I want to ask you, when can you and my dad come back together so that our family can have a good reunion?" After hearing this, Luo Xia thought about it and realized that it was true. Ever since he and his elder brother Luo Feng participated in the Genius War, they always missed the time to go home and spend time with their families. When Luo Feng was at home, Luo Xia was outside. Later, Luo Xia returned home and Luo Feng was outside again. Although their family can reunite frequently in this virtual universe, they have not reunited properly in reality for thousands of years. Next, Luo Xia chatted a lot with his family. Finally, he repeatedly assured his elder brother Luo Feng's safety to his elder sister-in-law, and then he went offline and returned to reality. After returning to reality, Luo Xia continued to wander around Titan in a swagger, letting his position continue to spread. This day, Luo Xia came to a desolate ruin. The original universe said that this was once the temple of the Titans, but after the Titans were exterminated tens of millions of epochs ago, this grand temple turned into ruins. Under these ruins, the treasure of the Titans is buried. The heart of Titan. That is the treasure refined by the Titan Lord, that is, the Star Lord for the Titans. The Titan giant who possesses the Titan heart will directly become the Titan king. The Titan heart can enhance the strength of the Titans in all aspects, from physical fitness to soul. But this Titan heart is only useful for the Titans. In the hands of others, the Titan heart is no different from garbage. This is also the reason why the Star God King did not tell Luoxia. Luoxia is a human, without the genes of the Titans, and cannot use the Titan heart at all. At least it is the legacy left by the teacher. The star god tree between Luoxia's eyebrows flashed slightly, and immediately sensed a special rhythm buried deep underground, a position very close to the core of the earth. Titan heart. Luoxia's mind moved, and he teleported deep underground, and saw the huge Titan heart soaked in magma, like a ruby. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Swallowed Star, my understanding is beyond belief. Author, Bo Yoon Song. Chapter 236. The heart of Titan was floating in the hot magma, as if it was absorbing the energy of the Earth's core. This thing was huge, as big as a hill. According to the original universe, after the Titan King, who was the master of the universe, was defeated, this supreme treasure of the Titan clan was hidden in the core of the Titan planet, waiting for the Titans who were destined to find it. Unfortunately, after the death of the Titan King, the Titan clan was soon extinct. The heart of Titan has been floating here for tens of millions of epochs, but has never waited for the Titans who were destined to find it. Luoxia's mind moved, and the powerful mental power immediately absorbed the heart of Titan from the magma. The magma was boiling and rolling like a tide. Amid the rumbling sound, the mountain-like heart of Titan was slowly absorbed from the magma. Luoxia was finally able to see the full picture of the heart of Titan. This thing is called the Titan's heart, but its appearance is like a mountain, wide at the bottom and pointed at the top, with sharp edges and corners, and scarlet like jade. It looks good. Luoxia waved his hand slightly and put the Titan's heart into the world ring. Unfortunately, only the Titans can use this treasure. Wait, is there any Titan's gene residue on this Titan's heart? Halfway through his words, Luoxia suddenly reacted. When the original universe introduced the Titan's heart, it said, the Titan's heart needs to be integrated into the body before it can be driven. This will definitely leave the Titan King's gene in the Titan's heart. Luoxia carefully searched and found a trace of golden blood residue on the Titan's heart. The Titans are a race created by teacher Xing Chen. At the beginning, it was just to train his own disciples, so when creating them, the Titans' bodies and souls were made extremely powerful. This is also the method that many powerful people usually choose. Because the universe is too vast. Many powerful people may not meet a disciple who meets their requirements in their entire lives. In this case, they can only find ways to create life and cultivate disciples who meet their requirements. In the original work, Zhou Shank cultivated the Anshan clan and the Earth clan in this way. In the end, only Luo Feng met Zhou Shank's requirements. When the Star God King drifted to the original universe, he created the Titan clan with this idea. The original will of the original universe says that the Titan's bloodline is also one of the top bloodlines in the universe. As long as they grow to adulthood, they will definitely be at the level of the master of the world. And their bodies are all extremely large. When they are at the level of the master of the world, their bodies can be comparable to the top star beasts. Such a body size is very advantageous when they break through to become immortal. But the overly powerful innate talent also makes it difficult for the Titans to reproduce. The population at their peak was less than 1 million. Because the number of people is too small, even if there are many peak combat forces, at the strongest time, there can be one of the strongest in the universe and 3 masters of the universe, but in the end they were exterminated. The Titans are very powerful. Whether it is for the teacher's face or for their talents, they are enough to become my clones. Rorschach thought and kept the blood on the Titan's heart. He tried it and found that the blood was left by the Titan King at the level of the Master of the Universe. At his current level, he could not breed it. Buzz. Suddenly, an invisible wave emerged. It was a message from the original universe. Can I force it to breed? Luosia's eyes lit up, but after breeding, the clone's strength can only be equal to mine. The clone talent of the golden horned beast was originally given by the original universe. When it was given, it would definitely impose various restrictions. But Luosia is now the master of the original universe, and it can release this restriction on Luosia. Luosia immediately sent the blood of the Titan King into the inner world of the golden horned beast for breeding. Not long after, a golden giant egg with a height of more than 1,000 meters appeared in the inner world of the golden horned beast. Luosia sensed it and found that it would take 1,600 years to breed the Titan King. This is the price to pay for forced breeding. 1,600 years of breeding time. Luosia didn't care much. Buzz. Suddenly, the original universe sent Luosia another message. Luosia's expression slightly changed. Have the alien warriors who want to kill me already arrived at Titan? Tisk, why do I feel like the 6 major sects besieging Guangmingding? Whispering, Luosia took a step forward, the space changed, and in an instant he arrived at the battleship of the Demon Clan. This time, the Demon Clan sent a total of 10 king-level immortal warriors. They are very powerful, 3 of them are king-level invincible, and the other 7 are also at the peak king level. The immortals at the king level invincible level have at least 1,000,000 times the peak power and treasures of the 9th level of the Realm Master, and their strength is comparable to that of the primary venerables of the universe. The Demon Clan sent 3, obviously intending to kill Luosia completely. As for the peak king level immortals, their strength is also extremely powerful, with at least 100,000 times the peak power of the Realm Master. These Demon Clan immortals all came on their own spaceships, some of which are Mechanical Clan spaceships, and some are biological spaceships. Obviously, the Mechanical Clan spaceship is the spoil snatched by the Demon Clan immortals from the Mechanical Clan. When Luosia suddenly appeared, these demon immortals were stunned for a moment. This is Luosia. How dare he show up? It would be fine if he didn't run away after seeing our spaceship, but he actually showed up so boldly. Is his brain broken? Ha ha ha. He's here for good, so we don't have to spend energy looking for him. Wait a minute, let me meet the first genius of the human race. The immortals of the demon race were communicating loudly in the communication. Then a demon immortal like a wild bull collected the spaceship and stood in the void. His huge body, which was tens of meters high, exuded powerful divine power fluctuations, and the 3 extremely sharp horns on his head were wrapped with mysterious and powerful secret patterns. Mu. Are you the genius of the human race, Luosia? The peak immortal king of the demon race, the Mad Demon King, stared at Luosia with red eyes full of murderous intent and shouted. Luosia looked at the Mad Demon King calmly. This wild bull was very easy to lose his mind when fighting, and he looked like a madman. After his strength reached the immortal king, he was given the title of Mad Demon King. It made a great reputation in the first battlefield. Whether it was humans or other alien warriors, they were extremely afraid of the Mad King. When Luosia came to the first battlefield with Losha, Yanji, and others, they had heard of the name of the Mad King during their casual conversation. Forget it, no matter who you are. You are unlucky to meet me today. Die. The Mad King roared, and his eyes were immediately filled with red light. His thick hooves cracked the void, making a thunderous roar. In the deafening roar, he rushed towards Luosia like a madman. Swallowed Star, my understanding is beyond belief. Author, Bo Yun Song. Chapter 237. Other demon immortals also started to move when they saw the crazy demon king rushing towards Luosia. Rightward arrow. They all had information about Luosia. Taiwan Novel Network Rightward Arrow. Knowing that Luoxia had the magical skill of teleportation, these demon immortals immediately used secret methods to seal off the space. Dense secret patterns emerged, and then the surrounding area of millions of kilometers was sealed off. The Mad King is still as crazy as ever. Let him try and see if he can force out Luoxia's treasure. Yes, the Zerg sent 2 King Immortals and 7 Marquis Immortals to assassinate him, but he killed them instead. As a disciple of the Chaos City Lord, he must have the treasure given to him by the Chaos City Lord. That's right. Luoxia must have used the treasure to kill the 2 King Immortals and 7 Marquis Immortals. Haha, this Luoxia is simply sending the treasure to our mouths. When the Mad King forces out the treasure, we will attack together. I don't know how many treasures Luoxia has on him. I don't know if it's enough for us to share. The tribe has made it clear. Let us come here to keep Luoxia in the first battlefield forever. As for the treasure, we will talk about it after we kill Luoxia. King Gangyu is right. Killing Luoxia is our top priority. These demon immortals talked while blocking the space. They were full of confidence, thinking that the 3 invincible kings, plus the 7 peak kings, would definitely keep Luoxia here, and they could also get Luoxia's treasure. With Luoxia's status in the human race, the treasure on him was definitely not bad, and it might be a top treasure. In the immortal side of the demon race, the body of the Mad Demon King was surging with a very terrible red light, which was bloodthirsty and cruel. It was like a blood-colored meteorite, rushing towards Luoxia. Moo! With a deafening roar, the void exploded directly. The violent energy impact exploded. Luoxia took a breath slightly, facing the violent attack of the Mad Demon King. He did not dodge, and stepped on the void. The void was rippling, and the invisible and immaterial void seemed to have turned into a hard and thick earth, supporting Luoxia's figure, and then with a muffled sound, Luoxia actually stretched out his hand to resist the impact of the Mad Demon King. Boom! The space was broken in an instant, and waves were swaying. The immortals of the demon race were horrified. What? He actually resisted the attack of the Mad Demon King head-on. According to the information of the mechanical race, didn't Rorschach just enter the immortal realm? The Mad Demon King is the peak level of the Immortal King. The physical fitness of our demon race is generally stronger than that of humans. How could this human possibly resist the attack of the Mad Demon King head-on? He became immortal as soon as he entered, and he is at the level of the king. Damn it, he is worthy of being the most powerful genius in the history of the human race. They were discussing. Rorschach was still wrestling with the Mad Demon King at this time. Roar! The Mad Demon King was already crazy, with bloodshot eyes, and 3 sharp horns piercing the void, bursting out with unparalleled power, trying to crush Rorschach head-on. But Rorschach did not blush or breathe, and still steadily resisted the Mad Demon King's wrestling. No matter how crazy the Mad Demon King was, Rorschach's hands and body did not shake. Roar! The Mad King howled, his muscles bulged like mountains, and the blood rumbled in his thick blood vessels like a flood. Is that all your strength? Rorschach's sneer was so harsh that the Mad King lost his mind almost the moment he heard it. It roared furiously, its 3 sharp horns wrapped in violent divine power, like a majestic trident, and it lowered its head and blasted at Rorschach at an extremely exquisite and strange angle. It's the Mad King's famous skill, Blood Rage Horn Attack. The Mad King's Blood Rage Horn Attack is a top-level secret attack. There was an invincible king-level immortal who was severely injured by it. Rorschach's treasure should be forced out. The demon immortals all watched the battle in the field intently. They were all expecting the Mad King to force Rorschach's treasure out. But the opposite happened. Seeing the 3 sharp horns of the Mad Demon King stabbing at him, Luoxia dodged with a more powerful and exquisite body movement, and then kicked the Mad Demon King in the neck. This kick was like an antelope hanging horns, and it was very clever. The Mad Demon King was already crazy at this time, almost losing his mind, and his nerves could not react at all. The huge and heavy body was kicked by Luoxia and flew tens of thousands of meters away. It's really hard to imagine how a brainless demon like you can survive until now. Luoxia smiled and shook his head, stretched out his hand and clenched it, and endless energy gathered in his palm. In an instant, it was like a small star lit up in his palm. Go. Luoxia flicked his finger, and the small star immediately flew out. Puff. All the demon immortals didn't react, and the shining star had already streaked a dazzling light in the void, piercing the head of the mad demon king. Boom. In the dazzling light, the huge body of the mad demon king was directly torn apart and annihilated by the violent power. The immortals of the demon race were silent. Although the mad demon king was not the strongest among them, he was definitely not weak. But now, the mad demon king, who had an immortal body, was defeated by Luoxia in one move. Luoxia didn't even use his treasure. Is this human being so powerful? Hiss. A fire-winged red-scaled snake whose whole body was burning with flames spat out a snake letter, and its snake eyes couldn't help but spread. You guys come together. Rorschach looked at the remaining demon immortals. Human. You are too arrogant. Do you really think we can't kill you? I will let you be buried here today. Kill you. Rorschach's speech was a naked provocation. These immortal monsters usually hold high positions, and whoever dares to be so presumptuous towards them is furious at this time. Each one of them bursts out with terrifying auras, like the power of laws and regulations in substance, which will directly shatter the void and destroy hundreds of people in a radius. Thousands of kilometers have turned into a terrifying messy space. Hiss. Roar. The demon immortals all took action together. They all used their special moves, without much reservation. They all used powerful special moves that could kill all kinds of immortal kings, and bombarded Luoxia's position. At this moment, it felt like the end of the world was coming. Buzz. Seeing that Rorschach was about to fall under the immortal attack of these monsters, a ray of light lit up from the center of his eyebrows, and then, the shadow of a shining star tree appeared behind him and grew. Rumble. As the star-sacred tree grows, the breath of endless law fills the air. I saw the star tree swaying slightly, and all the attacks directed at Luoxia were blocked. The attack that could shatter stars and annihilate galaxies finally slowly disappeared. Die. Luoxia pointed at the immortal monsters in the distance. The next moment, the fruits of law hanging on the star tree shook, and the terrifying power of law descended from the void, just like the ocean of law coming from the original land, which was almost endless. The power of the law rushes towards those demon clan immortals. What is that? Rorschach's treasure. How could it be so terrifying? Run. Run. These demon immortals realized something was wrong. They wanted to escape, but it was too late. The endless power of law directly submerged them. Both their souls and their divine bodies were destroyed by the surging power of law. Buzz. The star tree swayed slightly. The endless ocean of law slowly dissipated. Luoxia stood in the void, and there were no more immortal figures of those monsters in the vast sky and earth. Swallowed Star, my understanding is beyond belief. Author, Bo Yun Song. Chapter 238. The Star God Tree is definitely a treasure that has reached the level of a God King. At Luoxia's current level, he can only exert less than 10% of the power of the Star God Tree. Wingdings, diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit. But it is enough. Luoxia's own power is very strong. Now with the blessing of the Star God Tree, even without the help of the original universe, Luoxia can deal with most of the immortal kings. These demon immortals would never have thought that Luoxia would have such strength in just a few thousand years. You know, even a genius like Bolin is only at the level of the 9th level of the Realm Master. Perhaps a genius like Bolin can be comparable to ordinary immortal gods when he is at the 9th level of the Realm Master, but if he encounters an immortal of the Marquis level or even the King level, he will definitely be beaten to a pulp. But now, Luo Xia has left Bolin and his group far behind. Even Luo Feng, who has had all kinds of adventures, now finds it very difficult to surpass Luo Xia in terms of hard power. After dealing with the immortals sent by the demons, Luo Xia flashed and went to the area where the Zerg was. In fact, after killing those demon immortals, Luo Xia's military merit has exceeded the goal set by the Virtual Universe Company. Each high-level king-level immortal is 100 trillion military merits. And Luo Xia, who just killed 3 invincible kings and 7 peak king-level immortals, now has an unprecedented military merit of 370 trillion. So now Luo Xia can choose to leave the battlefield outside the domain. But he did not leave immediately. It was not easy to attract those alien immortals to this Titan star, of course, to kill them in one fell swoop, so as to reduce the pressure on the human race in the first battlefield. The Zerg sent an immortal level Zerg Queen and thousands of Realm Master level Zerg Queens. Don't look at the small number of high-end combat forces sent by the Zerg. But in fact, their strength is more terrifying than the immortal demons. Because an immortal Zerg Queen can continuously breed immortal Zerg warriors as long as there are enough resources. If a Zerg Queen can break through to immortality, it is basically the most powerful existence under the universe venerable. When Luo Xia arrived at the Zerg area, the immortal Zerg Queen was about to send Zerg warriors to find Luo Xia. So when Luo Xia suddenly appeared, no Zerg warrior reacted. As soon as Luo Xia appeared, he set his sights on those Realm Master level Zerg Queens. He swung his sword. Boom! The sword energy was crisscrossed, and the shining sword light seemed to split the world in half. Hundreds of Realm Master level Zerg Queens surrounding the immortal Zerg Queen were killed in an instant. Hiss! Roar! The Zerg warriors roared, and after the sword light flashed, they found Luo Xia, who suddenly appeared. The eyes of the immortal Zerg Queen, Xylan, flickered, and her beautiful and dreamy face was full of surprise and astonishment. She didn't expect that Rorschach would appear in this way. It was too sudden. Did this human named Rorschach despise them so much? He actually dared to break into their base alone. She suppressed the doubts and surprise in her heart, and the immortal Zerg Queen Xylan immediately released her immortal Zerg warriors. Their Zerg talents are unique. Although Rorschach came very suddenly, it caught people off guard. But Xylan still reacted with her own people. They communicated and cooperated almost in an instant. In the roar that resounded through the world, millions of immortal Zerg warriors appeared. They acted in unison, and each of them had a strong and ferocious physique. With Xylan's control, these immortal Zerg warriors launched an attack on Rorschach in unison. At the same time, other Zerg queens who were still alive also began to release Zerg warriors to block the space of tens of thousands of kilometers. Swish, swish, swish. The space was broken in an instant. The magical secret pattern emerged in the void, like a chain, blocking the void. Then the attacks of the immortal Zerg warriors converged at one point. The infinite light and heat distorted and disrupted the surrounding time and space. At this moment, the surface of Titan seemed to have risen a huge star. The fantastic and magnificent scene was accompanied by extreme destruction and destruction. The immortal Zerg Queen immediately launched the strongest attack she could use. She knew very well that no matter what purpose Rorschach had when he suddenly appeared in the Zerg base, since he dared to appear, it meant that he had enough confidence to walk out of here alive. Xylan would not allow such a thing to happen. Thousands of years ago, their Zerg sent a Zerg Queen of the World Master level and 8 immortal gods to assassinate Rorschach. At that time, everyone thought that Rorschach would definitely die. After all, Luo Xia had just become the World Master at that time. He should not have the strength to resist the assassination of the immortal. But Luo Xia finally survived. No one knows how he survived. In Xylan's view, their Zerg had failed once, and they must not fail again this time. When the unified attack of millions of immortal Zergs was launched, Xylan secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Her attack. Even an ordinary universe master could be seriously injured. With Luosia's current strength of entering the immortal realm, he can rival the powerful King Immortal, and he will definitely not survive her attack. It's too late, it's fast. On the other side of the immortal Zerg's attack, a shining star tree emerged and grew. In an instant, it grew to tens of thousands of meters high. The huge star canopy casts extremely brilliant starlight. In the astonished eyes of the immortal Zerg Mother Queen, the law fruit of the star divine tree shook slightly. Immediately afterwards, the law ocean of the 10 basic laws descended from the void. Wow! The power of the law is so vast. The combined attack of millions of immortal Zerg warriors, under the power of this vast law, is like a mantis with its arms as a chariot. In just an instant, the huge star rising from Titan disappeared under the impact of the power of law. Then the endless power of law surged forward, and the Zerg warriors were drowned. Boom! It's like a flood has wiped out the world. When the ocean of law dissipated, only Rorschach was left in the world again. If you are rich, you will be covered by fire power, the ancients will not deceive me. Rorschach smiled slightly. I found that the impact of the law power of the star tree is really useful. It is simply a magical skill for attacking groups. The Machinery clan seems to have sent a universe venerable. His name is Venerable Lujin. I don't know if he is strong or not. After getting rid of the Zerg, Rorschach obtained the information about the Mechanical clan from the original universe. He teleported directly to the location of the Mechanical clan's universe master. Outside Titan's atmosphere, a G-class spaceship stood in the void. The spaceship is still in the shape of a pyramid full of Mechanical clan style. In the center of the pyramid, a Mechanical clan but extremely handsome in appearance is sitting high on the throne, quietly looking at the void outside. The direction where the energy fluctuations just appeared seems to be the area where the Zerg Queen descended. This energy reading has also appeared in the area where the Demon clan has descended before. It looks like a certain existence in two different areas. Using only with the same secret method can there be almost consistent energy readings. But the distance between the Immortal and the Zerg Queen sent by the Monster clan is very far. Even if they use teleportation, it is impossible to reach the Zerg Mother Queen from the area where the Monster clan Ganyu King and others are in such a short time. Emperor Zirlan's place. What is going on? Venerable Lujin thought, even if he has a powerful talent given by the universe, his calculation power is terrifying. It still can't figure it out. How did the energy fluctuations I read occur in two extremely far apart locations in a short period of time? There is missing a key piece of data and a piece of key information. You must know that the area where the monsters descended and the location where the Zerg established their base were specially chosen on Titan after discussion. Although the different races have been fighting for years, there is basically no alliance or cooperation. But there is a contingency in everything. This time, in order to completely kill the human genius Rorschach, the Machine Tribe, Monster Tribe, and Zerg Tribe rarely let go of their hatred and prejudice against each other. The three parties contacted in secret and reached a secret cooperation. The locations chosen by the Monster race, Zerg race, and Mechanical race this time just divided Titan into three areas. There are three races of them, one race is responsible for one area. Just look for traces of Rorschach in the area. No matter who finds Rorschach first, he must send information to the other two races in time to facilitate the encirclement and killing to ensure that Rorschach does not escape. But the Monster race and Zerg race didn't expect it at all. Rorschach can kill them completely in a short time, so there is no time to send out the news of seeing Rorschach. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Swallowed Star, my understanding is beyond belief. Author, Bo-Yoon Song. Chapter 239. The spaceship of the Venerable Logojin is the largest, and other mechanical spaceships are suspended around it. These spaceships and the spaceship of the Venerable Logojin form a giant pyramid. When Logosya appeared, the detectors densely distributed around him immediately detected his appearance. At the first time, various alarms sounded in the spaceship. It's Logosya. He appeared by teleportation. His teleportation distance is very far. It is directly beyond the range of our detectors. Our detector range can reach 100,000 light-years. Could it be that his teleportation distance has exceeded 100,000 light-years? This kind of teleportation, even the Universe Venerable can't do it. Damn it! How did he do it? The mechanical immortals completed the communication in an instant, and then, powerful and expensive mechanical puppets flew out of the spaceship one by one, densely packed, and in an instant, the void was filled with tens of billions of mechanical puppets. The lowest level of these mechanical puppets is F level. Under the control of the mechanical race, these mechanical puppets formed various powerful formations, lightning, flames. The void was directly shattered under these terrible attacks, and waves of destructive space rose and fell, surrounding Logosya. Logosya did not say much. He looked at the tens of billions of mechanical puppets and took out the galaxy sword. That is the sword of King Chi Tien. An immortal of the mechanical race recognized the galaxy sword. Because this sword had been used by the clone of the destroying beast before, the immortals of the mechanical race regarded it as the treasure of the destroying beast. Did Logosya take it from King Chi Tien? No wonder King Chi Tien has not been seen on the battlefield outside the domain for nearly 1,000 years. Was he secretly killed by Logosya? The immortals of the mechanical race guessed. In the largest pyramid spaceship, Venerable Logojin looked at Logosya holding the galaxy sword and suddenly felt something was wrong. This feeling came abruptly and strangely. Logically speaking, the mechanical race would not have such a feeling, because they are born intelligent life. From the beginning of their birth, they only believe in data and objective facts. As if to confirm the sudden bad feeling of the Logojin master, an unparalleled sword light lit up in the dark universe, and the vast universe seemed to be divided into yin and yang at this moment. In the extreme brilliance, there is a deep darkness. When everything was extinguished, tens of billions of mechanical puppets had disappeared. The ultimate swordsmanship. Rorschach. The light flashed in the eyes of the Logojin master. It was very shocked. What realm is Rorschach? He has just entered immortality. Even if his perception of the law is very high, the creation of secret methods is not something that can be created by creation, especially the ultimate swordsmanship. Countless strong men may only create a peak-level secret method in their lifetime. But what about Rorschach? Now when he makes a move, it is an ultimate swordsmanship. This is too terrifying. It's simply unheard of. This Logosya is worthy of being the strongest genius in the history of the human race. This talent really crush everyone. Zhen Jinzun was shocked. He was going to take action. With the strength that Logosya showed now, other mechanical immortals would not be his opponents at all. Zhen Jinzun teleported out of the pyramid spaceship. After putting the spaceship away, he immediately took out a wheel ring with extremely sharp edges and teleported behind Logosya. The wheel ring carried a powerful space-cutting force and bombarded Logosya. With a snort, the silver wheel ring cut out a space crack of tens of thousands of kilometers. But, its attack failed. Logosya's perception of the law of time is too high. After obtaining the Star God tree, he can even merge with the origin of the law. Now he can already peek into a corner of the future from time and space. So before the teleportation of the Venerable Logosya, Logosya had expected it. He teleported and dodged almost synchronously. When the Venerable Logosya launched the attack, he had already appeared tens of thousands of kilometers away. The cracked space swallowed up everything around it, but it could not affect Logosya. Swish. Logosya performed the Samsara sword technique. Cut the moon. The illusion of a full moon appeared in the dark universe, just covering the venerable Logojin. At this moment, venerable Logojin was surprised to find that the time and space around it were blocked and could no longer teleport. When the full moon was completely revealed, the sword blade like the white moonlight cut through the space, with the ultimate destructive power, bombarding the venerable Logojin in the full moon. Tisk. Venerable Logojin would naturally not sit and wait for death. After discovering that he could not teleport, he immediately took out a defensive treasure, a triangular alloy shield. This triangular alloy shield looks ordinary, but its defense is extremely strong. On its surface, it is covered with the secret patterns of the law of earth, and a layer of gray luster lights up. In an instant, the triangular alloy shield filled the entire full moon and actually blocked Logosya's sword light head-on. Damn it! However, although the triangular alloy shield blocked the attack, it was covered with horrible sword marks. The secret patterns of the law of earth had been destroyed. Zhen Jinzun was shocked. Rorschach's sword light could actually destroy his defensive treasure. It directly put away the triangular alloy shield, and then burst out with endless divine power. The silver ring in its hand rotated, cutting a broken gap in Logosya's full moon, and then leaped out of the gap. After flying out, the Logojin Venerable waved his hand and sprinkled a little bit of starlight-like things. As soon as these things appeared, they immediately combined into a three-dimensional shape, like a cage, blocking the surrounding time and space. It wanted to give him back in the same way. The light of the Death Star. Logosya knew what the Logojin Venerable sprinkled from the original universe. This light of the Death Star is a special substance produced by black holes. It has great power in blocking time and space. And it has another most important effect. That is to absorb the divine energy of the enemy target in the blockade area. When these lights of the Death Star blocked time and space, Logosya immediately sensed that his divine power was being absorbed. His face changed, but there was no nervousness in his heart. In the area where the light of the Death Star is located, time and space are distorted, just like those positions, where extremely small black holes appeared. Logosya could no longer teleport. At this time, he was like a turtle in a jar. The Logojin Venerable stood in the void, controlling the silver wheel ring and looking at Logosya coldly. It didn't say anything nonsense. After confirming that Logosya was blocked and surrounded by the light of the Death Star, it used its peak secret method. Logojin Light. This was an attack that it launched by combining a trace of the mystery of space and the mystery of the law of gold. The magnificent and terrifying light enveloped the area where Logosya was. All cosmic matter was annihilated under the Logojin light. 1 second later, there was no matter in the space blocked by the light of the Death Star. It turned into nothingness, and time and space were collapsing into the nothingness and destroying. This is the power of the universe Venerable. In front of them, the planets are like marbles, which can be played with at will. Is he dead? There are still mechanical immortals alive. They saw the great Logojin Venerable burst out endless light, and then an area turned into nothingness. According to their analysis, the immortal Logosya would definitely not be able to survive this terrifying attack. But he almost died. Logosya's voice suddenly sounded behind the Logojin Master. Logojin Master was startled. And before he could react, a star branch had pierced his body. Logojin Master looked down at the branch that pierced his body. His divine power and consciousness were slowly flowing into this branch, and then annihilated in the endless torrent of laws. Swallowed Star, my understanding is beyond belief. Author, Bo Yun Song. Chapter 240. Lord Logojin is dead. The surviving mechanical immortals looked at the dead Lord Logojin, who was killed by Logosya, in astonishment. In their sight, a strange star tree appeared in the void, and the body of Lord Logojin was hanging on the tree. His body was pierced by branches and there was no breath of life. They looked at this magical scene. They could never imagine that Lord Logojin would die like this. Lord Logojin is the Lord of the universe, how could he be killed by Logosya? The mechanical immortals could not accept it. But the facts were in front of them. They had no time to mourn the death of Lord Logojin. After confirming the death of Lord Logojin, Logosya put his body into the storage space, and then held the longsword and teleported to the other surviving mechanical immortals. These mechanical immortals are very powerful. Each of them is a king-level existence. But they no longer have the will to fight. After Logosya killed the venerable Logojin, they analyzed with their powerful computing power that facing Logosya's attack, their chances of winning were less than 10%. Boom! The mechanical immortals wanted to escape. They controlled the spaceships and wanted to escape into the dark universe and escape from this starry sky. But Logosya had long been on guard against the escape of these mechanical immortals. He secretly ordered the original universe to block the time and space of this area, and the spaceships of the mechanical immortals could not travel through the universe at all. Soon, Logosya teleported and caught up with the spaceship of a mechanical immortal. He struck out with a sword, and the sword light was crisscrossed. The mechanical immortal who wanted to escape was immediately killed by Logosya. After that, several mechanical immortals were also caught up by Logosya. He didn't spend too much time to kill these mechanical immortals one by one. This starry sky outside the atmosphere was filled with the debris of various metal puppets. Logosya released the golden horned giant beast clone, opened its ferocious mouth, and swallowed the metal debris in the starry sky. After cleaning up the battlefield, Logosya teleported to an uninhabited planet and began to sort out his spoils. Not long after, Logosya sorted out the spoils this time. In the battlefield fighting with the demons, a large number of treasures and resources were obtained. These things can be sold for at least 1 trillion chaos units. Next is the Zerg Queen. The corpses of those Zerg warriors, especially the corpses of the immortal Zerg warriors, can also be sold for a lot of money. Among the 3 major races, the most precious is undoubtedly the mechanical race. Not to mention the others, the corpse of a Login Venerable alone is enough to be compared to a medium treasure. Not to mention the G-class spaceship and metal puppets left by the Logojin Venerable. According to Babata's estimation, the relics in the world ring of the Logojin Venerable alone are enough to sell for 10 trillion Hunyuan units. Logosya picked and chose. Now that he has the Galaxy Sword and the Star God Tree, he doesn't think much of these spoils, but many things can be taken back to the family and used by the descendants of the Logo family. Well, the military merit has accumulated to more than 600 trillion. Logosya glanced at his military merit. After killing the Logojin Venerable, his military merit quota increased by 100 trillion at once. Other mechanical tribes, demon tribes, and insect tribes who were crowned as immortal kings also added a lot of military merit to Logosya. His current military merit quota has far exceeded the goal set for him by the Virtual Universe Company. It's time to go back. Logosya whispered, looking at the vast starry sky, but before going back, go find my eldest brother first. He took a step forward and instantly came to the starry sky where the Star Tower was. In the dark and silent space, a towering 9-story tower stood quietly. It seemed to have appeared here since the birth of the universe. The 9-story tower exuded an ancient and distant atmosphere. Around the Star Tower, there were endless nebula vortices. These nebula vortices were divided into 9 vortices. The closer to the tower of the Star Tower, the stronger and more terrible the tearing force of the nebula vortex. The immortals of the king level could not even get close to the nebula vortex of the 4th vortex. And the 7th nebula vortex close to the Star Tower, even if the universe venerable entered it, would be torn and annihilated in an instant. It was extremely tall, 9 light-years high. Rorschach stared at the Star Tower. He had just arrived in the star field, and the Star Tower sent him a strong sense of call. Under this sense of call, his body cells and soul were trembling involuntarily. Luoxia knew that this was because the star tower was built by Zhou, who was the father god and creator god of the earthlings. Therefore, as the most enlightened genius of the earth, the star tower had an extremely strong sense of calling for Luoxia. Is the inheritance of the eldest brother coming to an end? When Luoxia accepted the inheritance of the star god king, Luo Feng also came to the star tower and accepted the inheritance of the star tower. According to the eldest sister-in-law Su Xian, the eldest brother Luo Feng has been in the star tower for at least 6,000 years. In the original work, Luo Feng spent more than 6,000 years to gain the recognition of the star tower. This star tower was built by Zhou, so the original universe also has some restrictions here, such as, infinite teleportation cannot be used inside the star tower. If Luoxia wants to enter the star tower, he can only enter from the entrance of the tower. He teleported to the bottom of the star tower. There were 9 entrances at the bottom of the tower. Luoxia flashed and entered the interior of the star tower from one entrance. When Luoxia entered the star tower, the news of the death of the demon king Gangyu, the queen of the insect race Xylin, the mechanical race Luo Jinzun and others had been transmitted back to their respective tribes. For a moment, the top leaders of the 3 tribes were shocked. Lord Luo Jin is dead. Killed by Luoxia. How terrible! Has Luoxia grown to the point where he can rival the universe master? This growth rate is too fast. How old is he now? It seems that he is not even 10,000 years old. He is not even 10,000 years old, but he is strong enough to kill the universe master. He is worthy of being the most powerful genius in the history of the human race. If we want to kill Luoxia completely in the future, I am afraid that only a master of the universe can do it. Alas, we failed to kill Luoxia this time, and there is little chance in the future. The human leaders will not watch Luoxia fall. When Luoxia returns to the human territory, we will have no chance to assassinate him again. It is difficult to kill Luoxia. Do we have to give up like this? What else can we do if we don't give up? Even the universe master can't kill him. After sending the Lord of the universe, the human race will definitely send out corresponding strong men. We have lost the best opportunity and can no longer stop Luoxia from growing up. Alas, it would have been better to send the Universe Master to assassinate Luoxia directly. The Universe Master is the top combat force in every tribe. Who is willing to use a Universe Master to exchange the life of a human genius? Yes, we didn't expect Luoxia to grow so fast. He is beyond the imagination of all of us. We can only give up. Now the price to kill Luoxia is too high. Even if we kill him, it will be a big loss for us.